Welcome to LiveDaf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Hello, Shalom Aleichem. Welcome back to today's Daf Yomi, BECHOROS Memhei. We begin at the Mishnah on Mem Daled Amud Beis on the very last line, continuing on the topic that we started a couple of days ago. Kohanim, who wish to serve in the Beis HaMikdash, if they present defects and abnormalities, that renders them unfit to do service. Some are min haTorah, some are midrabanan. So here in the upcoming Mishnah, we have another list of foot, leg-related abnormalities which disqualify the kohen from doing avodah min haTorah. Here goes. Makish bikarsulav. The kohen is bow-legged. So his karsulim, his calves, his shins, bang into each other. His knees are angling out, but his karsulim bump into each other. Or ubar kavoisav. Suppose it's just the opposite. So his feet are out, but his knees are knocking into each other as he's walking. Next Amud. Ubal hapika. He has this growth, this bulge coming out of his large toe. Va'ikel. What's that? Eze va'ikel. Kol shumake parsoisav. So in this case, as he places his feet alongside each other, his knees are far apart. They don't bang. They don't touch. So his legs are bent outward, in which case, when the bottoms come together, the knees should as well, and they don't. Now back to the Bala Pika. What is that? Pika yoitza migudolai. He has this growth, this bulge growing out of his large toe. Now, akevoi yoitza lachir. Suppose his heel juts out from behind. Basically, instead of his leg being positioned towards the back of his foot, in which case is a small jut for the heel area. In this case, his leg is positioned more towards the middle of his foot, leaving a large section behind it, which is unusual. So he has a large heel. Akeva yoytze lachirav. Another item is parsoisav or parsosai rochava, whether it's plural or singular. Either way, parsoisav rochava k'shel avos. His foot is flat and spread wide like the foot of a duck. Something unusual. Or eretzba'osav, his fingers or his toes, merukavos u'alzu, instead of lying neatly side by side, they're sort of riding, overlapping over each other. Oiklutois, or suppose they're joined instead of separated. Entities are joined together, glued together. How much? Lamala adaperak. So if they're only joined from the, let's say from the hand, right, till the middle joint, and then it's separated, that's okay, kosher. They're distinct enough and it's okay. But if it goes past that point, lamata b'naperak, if it's joined past that point, now v'chatacha, turned around and he surgically separated them, kosher, okay, he's back on track. Suppose he has an extra finger or toe, hoisa, ba or boy, yeseres, he has an extra finger, v'chatach, and he amputated it. Do we just, delete it? Well, it depends how significant that finger was. Im yesh ba'etzem, if it was with a bone inside, then it has its own entity. So now that he removed it, it's just as bad. He's puzzled because Rashi says it was an aver, had the status of a limb. And if you remove the limb, he's a mechusar aver. He's missing. He's a balmum. So you didn't help much by removing it. But otherwise, if it had no bone inside, then it's just a flap of skin, kosher, it's okay. What if he has, instead of 20 in total, 10 fingers and 10 toes, he has 24. 6 on each side. Yoser b'yadav, b'raglav. He has extra in his hands and his feet. Sheish v'sheish, esrim b'arba, 6 and 6, for total 24. Machlokes, Rabbi Yehuda machshir. He said it's okay. V'chachamim paislim. And finally, hashelet b'shtei yadav. So we know that a lefty is puzzle. What about ambidextrine? He's equally functioning on both sides, right and left. Rebbe paisel. Rebbe says it's possible. The Gemara will explain. You know why? Because we deem it as though his right side got weakened, developed a weakness, and that's why it's equal to the left. They say just the opposite. It's the left that's catching up to the right. There's nothing wrong with the right. Tana Rabbanan. So in the Mishnah we discussed various abnormalities found in the foot, leg area, which are considered a-mum. As we're going to see, it's based on the pasuk, which speaks about a-mum in the leg. Tana Rabbanan, shever regel, a broken foot. Now it sounds like that's the only possible mum, a broken leg. Only el shever regel, perhaps only if it's broken. What if there's some sort of unusual feature in that area? The rabbis, what about including hakishan? Okay, the bow-legged, va'ikel, right? Which was the fellow who couldn't join his knees together. Akilban, he has this growth coming out of his toe. Talmud Laimar, oi. The word oi covers all these conditions as well. Oi shever Tana, we learned in a brayso. Bala pikin, that's one mum. Vashufnar. What does that mean? Amar Rabbi Chia bar Abba Rabbi Yechon balak pikin is a fellow sheyesh like sasois harbe. He has an oversized, some say oversized ankle. The shufna means shein like sasois chalik, he has no ankle at all. These are considered mumen. The Mishnah spoke about pika, yoytze mikudaloi, v'akeva yoytze lacharav. Amar Belazar, when we say the heel juts out from the back, it's because shoyka yoytze b'emtze ragli, because his shoyk, his shin, his leg, is positioned in the middle of his foot, which results in a large heel. The Mishnah speaks of a parsoisa, rochaves keshalavas. His feet resemble those of a duck. To what extent? Amar Papa doesn't need to be all the way. Even if it's partially resembling, it's also considered a-mum. Loitema don't suggest the trifo loistika. It has to be, spread, and round, and right, spread and wide. Vilay sadiq, and also without any separations, which is exactly like a duck. Don't think it needs to go that far to be a-mum. Ella kivon de treifa. Once it's, spread and wide, that in itself is enough. Even though the toes are separated, it's a mum. Okay, so now we move on to hand-related issues, finger-related issues. Shever yad. The pasuk refers specifically to one condition, a broken hand. Enli ela shever yad, perhaps only broken, is an issue. But if you have the itzbois, merkavos, what if his fingers are riding over each other, eklutes, or joined together, lamal min haperak v'chatochan? If they're only joined up until that middle joint, and he separated them. Now it sounds from the Brisa that we're about to say that it's puzzle, that it's on the list of blemishes. Ask the Gemara, we cut it off right away. What do you mean? Well, Amr's Kasha just told me in the Mishnah that if he separates them, it's okay. Ella v'loy chatach minay. Brisa is talking, well, he did not separate them. How do we know it's a mon? Tamalaymar oi. The extra oi, shever yad, covers these examples as well. What if there's an extra finger, an extra toe? Hoise by yiseres v'chatocha. Well, it depends if it had a bone, right? Im yesh ba'etzem pasum lav kasha. Amar Rabba, Babrachan Rabbi Yochanan. When do we consider this extra finger as an extra limb, which if removed, renders him a balmum? Amar Rabba Rachan Rabbi Yochanan Mushin Isperes, provided on condition Shin Isperes, it's counted al Gav Hayad with the rest of the fingers on his hand. So basically it's aligned with the rest of the fingers. So then, with a bone, we consider it like another finger, and if removed, it's a problem. Now we have a similar discussion regarding Tumah. So we shift to the halachas of Tumah, where we know that a lifeless person conveys Tumah by way of touching him, carrying him, and even in oil, anything under the same roof. But suppose it's only part of a mace, then it depends. If it's a full aver, it's classified as a full limb, then it's matame ba'oil as well, right? But if it's not, if it doesn't have the elements of an aver, then it doesn't give off tumah ba'oil. So now let's analyze this extra finger. If it's of a mace, is it considered an aver? To be matame ba'oil as well? Turn up, here comes a price. You say Rosh Yesh Ba'etzim, this extra finger that has a bone. It's apart even without a nail. It is considered a full limb regarding matters of tumah, and therefore it's matame b'maga, conveys tumah through direct contact, b'masa through carrying, matame ba'oil and ba'oil as well. Va'oil leminyan esrim me'ah b'esrim v'chamish. And there's halacha, another halacha, that bone material of a mace doesn't have, let's say, it doesn't have flesh, just bones. So a bone has its own rules. It could be matame b'maga and b'masa, but ba'oil, it's only going to be matame if it comprises the majority structure of the mace, or numeric majority, as we're going to see soon. So, person is comprised of 248 sections, which makes 125 as the rive. So this extra finger, let's say it doesn't have basar, it's not going to be matame as an aver now, right? Only by virtue of its bone element, so you can count it into the 125, even though it's not a standard feature on a standard person, who typically doesn't have extra fingers. Nevertheless, it's considered a bone like any other, and it's counted into the 125. Okay, but first let's go back to the aver aspect. So if it's a full finger with basar, right, it has all the elements of an aver, and a bone as well, that in itself has the capacity to convey tumah through the oil. V'amar Rabba, bar Rachan, Rabbi Yochanan. Once again, there's a condition to that. Uvenisperes al gavayad, has to appear like a regular finger, has to be aligned with the rest. Amar Rav Chisda, the following statement, you know who said it? Rabbeinu Hagad Lamar, the great teacher, Rav, he taught it. And he gives him a bracha. V'hamaka im Hashem, Yeh Bezer should always be by his side, helping him out. Give him siyata d'shmayis, give him a nice bracha. Zecha tzadik l'bracha. Okay, what was the halacha that he says? Yiseres, this extra finger, she'esh ba'etzim, vein b'tzapar. It has a bone, even without a nail. Matame b'maga, u'b'masa. It can impart tumah through touch, through carrying, but not oil. Vein matame b'oil. Amar Rabba, Rachan Rabbi Yochanan, there's no contradiction between this halacha and the halacha mentioned earlier that it does have the capacity for tumas oil, because he was speaking that it's thick set, it's not in line with the rest of the fingers, and therefore does not have the ability to be considered an aver. Amar Rabba, Rachan Rabbi Yochanan, u'b'she'eina nisperes al gavayad. We're speaking that it's not counted amongst the rest, it's not aligned with the rest. And therefore it's not classified as an aver, and therefore there's no tumas oil. Says the Gemara, well, okay, so if it's not an aver, it's just an add-on, that shouldn't have any tumah at all. It's not part of the person, it's not part of... Amar Rabbi Yochanan, how can you split? How can you say, well, it's metame, only maga, masa, not an oil? Asu devreim. the scholars have now packaged their words kediver nevius, as words of prophecy, without explaining, without providing, rational basis for the halacha, which is typically what we do when we teach Torah. Manosha, how do you explain this? Either way, everhu, it's classified as an aver, then go all the way, boil namitatame. Let it be matame even through oil. And otherwise, scot-free. If you love aver, if it's not an aver, it's just a sort of an add-on, then it has no class at all. It has no classification. It has no status. It shouldn't be any tumah. Says the I'll explain it to you. It's midrabanan. Amar Afunu beit barbanech mashmei derabacha brei davika. Mishum etzem keser naguba. In a minute we'll get to Rabbanan. First teretz. He says, yeah, it's not an aver, but even a small bone chip the size of a barley is matame. It has limited tumah. It's not all-encompassing. It's not ba'il, but it's maga and masa. So this extra finger, even though it's not classified as an aver, but it's still considered for tumas maga and masa, such as just like any other bone. Rapapa Amar, it's midrabanan. It's a gzeira concern. She'en and asperis, otun asperis. The non-aligned finger on account of the yes-aligned finger. Because it's going to come to be mitayr that as well. So we apply a tumah to this one too. But since it's midrabanan, we limit the scope of the tumah. Yachi she'en and asperis. If it's tamim midrabanan, so even if it's not aligned with the rest, boil nam tatami, give it full power of tumah, even oil. No. Avdu Rabbanan, Hakir Rabbanan established a distinguishing sign to highlight that it's only Rabbanan, so that people will not mistakenly perceive it as metamim and atir. The listener for aliyah, people should not burn on account of contact with this aver, truma, which touches it, or kadashim. We don't want that to happen. It's only Rabbanan. You can't burn these things. So we limited the scope of the tumah in order to identify it as a tumah d'Rabbanan. Okay, so the bottom line is, the extra finger has full aver status if A, it's covering a bone, and B, it's aligned with the rest of the fingers, and this pertains to the mum of the kohen. So if it's removed, he's now missing a limb, he's puzzle, and likewise, mitame b'mago masa ba'il, such as any other aver. Not awesome. Okay, on the topic of the bones of the mace being metame, so it's just plain bone, in which case, if it's a small bone chip, it's metame b'maga b'masa, but not ba'oil. In order for it to be metame ba'oil, it has to go to the next level. None else have a Mishnah, which describes the parameters of that. Roi binyana, if it comprises the majority of the binyan of the skeleton, so you could have a couple of large bones to comprise the majority of the structure. Or it's the numeric majority, like we said before, 125 out of 248. Shell mace, even though it's not comprised of a large quantity in terms of, like a roiv of a kav, which is typically the shear that's metame ba'oil. So even if it's, a small baby or something, tmeyin, it's metame because of its significance. Tanrabanan. So for more detail on this, what's considered the majority of the skeleton? Two shins and a hip. Because that's typically the majority of the of the height of the skeletal structure on a large person, standard sized person. What's considered the numeric majority? How many bones? Meya, Esrim, Chamisha, 125. Amrele Rabin L'Rab. Tana. So this Tana gave us the number 125. He's teaching us math. I mean, we all know. Person is 248, so majority is 125. Why bother telling us numbers? Tana Minyana, the number. Aslashmin is come to teach us the number. Kamashman, the point is no. What he's teaching us is that this magic number 125 applies in all circumstances. Even if a person should have theoretically an extra 50 bones, or a person who has less than standard, 125 remains the magic number, because that's the roiv in a standard, average person. Kamash Malan Kadisani is coming to teach us as per the following brisa. Chaser, a fellow was missing. Shein Bayala Masayim, he only has 200. Or in the reverse, Vidyasar, he has more than average. Sheish Masayim Mishmayin Becha has 281. And Rashi explains how this fellow is structured. So he has less or more than the norm. Kulan Eilan Laminat Me'ev Esmer Chamish. So all these, even the extra ones, that are not typically found on a, they can be counted into the 125. Why? And basically, he doesn't need to have more than 125, right? So it's 2 points. You can count them in, and he just needs a total of 125 as per the standard person. We don't look at this person's personal situation. Why? Zil basarubadinchi, you follow the majority the way it is out there. 248 is considered the standard, which makes 125 the Rav. Amar Avidamar Shmuel. In fact, there was a story of Talmid Chacham who were trying to dissect and figure out where to find the full 248. Ma'aseh b'Talmid of Rabbi Shmuel. There was a story with the students of Rabbi Shmuel Shesholku Zayin Achas. They boiled this immoral woman, Shins Chayves Revel Melech, who was killed by the king after they killed her by burning a streifa, and they analyzed all the different evarim. Badku u'matzu b'masayim chamishin v'shnayim. They found more than 248. They found 252. They came back to Rabbi Shmuel in wonderment. How did we get too many? Amar Lam, he says, Shama B'Isha Badatkim, was it an Isha that you checked? Because she has more than 248. She has 252. Shoyis La Kosav Shnei Tzirim. Hashem added, the pasuk adds more than 240 to Tzirim, to hinges, and to Shnei Dlosses, 2 doors at the womb area. In fact, we have a brisa which corroborates this. Tanya, Rav Lezer Omer, Kashem Sheish, Kashem Shetzirim L'Del, just like we find hinges on a door of a home. Kashem Shetzirim L'Bayis, Kach Tzirim L'Isha, likewise by a woman. Shenemar, as we have by Eli Yakoin's daughter-in-law, Vatichra Vatela Kinefchut Le'ot Tzireha. So it's describing the birth, and Tzireha, the hinges, are related to the experience. Rabbi Shua Omer, likewise, we have doorways. Kashem shed losses labayis, just like a home has doors. Kach losses leisha. Likewise, a woman shenema kilosaga dalte bitni. We find doors related to a woman. Kiva Omer, there's another item as well. Kashem shem afteach labayis, just like there's a afteach, a key to the home. Kach afteach leisha. Likewise, by a woman shenemar yiftach es rachma. So there's a concept of a yiftach, of a mafteach, of a door, of a key, of a lock, related to a woman. So really, we just added an extra limb. Little Rabbi Kiva, according to Rabbi Kiva's assertion, she has mafteach as well. Kasha, so the problem is, the Talmid Rabbi Shmuel, they only found 252, it should be 253. What happened to the mafteach? Dilma the Zutra, perhaps because of its smallness and size, it muchi mitmach, it got dissolved during her boiling. Amara. You should know that these extra 5 by the woman don't have the ability to give off tumah through an oil, despite them being classified as an aver. Why? Because it's not found amongst men. Shenemar, because regarding tumas oil, the pasuk says Zois HaTorah, Adam kiyamas ba'oil. And we learn Davar HaShav L'chol Adam, it has to be an aver which is equally found by men as well. Amali Abai. V'beish leka. So you mean this hinge-shaped, entity is not found by a man? Oksiv, we have a pasuk by Yeshaya. Tzira machozuni. Yeshaya Navi is relating to himself. He was overwhelmed by the hardship experienced by the going to be experienced by the Yidden. Tzira machozuni kitzira yeleda. Being gripped like a woman giving birth. It's tzirim. So a man has tzirim as well? Answer, tziri basar. They're just made of skin and flesh without bones, in which case they don't count. Oksiv, another pasuk. By Daniel, Adoini, Bamaro, Nefkot Tzirai, my tzirim were overturned. Apparently a man has tzirim as well. Chanami here as well, tziri basar, just flesh. I'll prove to you as such that it's not really considered an aver. Otherwise, how are you going to reconcile the number 248? Certainly not by a woman. Masayim Baba Mishmoina, which we have in the Mishnah and Aholos, who does it apply to? Who does it apply to? Loi B'Yishval B'Isha, not a man or a woman, it can't be. Apparently, although the woman has the extra, but the man does not. Return to minutes. Yosef B'Yadav Raglav. Okay, a fellow is exhibiting 24 in total, right? 12 fingers and 12 toes. Rabbi Yehuda says, that's okay. Chachamim say pasuk. Rabbi Yitzchak, what's the machlekes based on? Ushnei mikrei chadash, they're both based on the same pasuk, describing the formation of Goliath, who had 26. There was this huge person. Etzba yodav v'etzba raglav, sheish v'sheish. So he had a total of 24 fingers. Chachamim understand that the pasuk is shaming him. Something unusual, defective, all those extra things. Rabbi Yehuda says no. The pasuk is actually being impressed, so to speak, in his with his appearance, exhibiting his, describing his strength and his being, impressive-looking fellow. So actually, it's not a mum, and therefore it's okay. It's kosher if found on a kohen. Amar Rabba. Once we're on that pasuk, let's analyze it further. We seem to find a repetition in that pasuk. Mali dechsiv sheish v'sheish esrim ba'ara mispar. Why did the Torah have to sort of repeat itself? 6, 6, 24, mispar. You could have just said, 6, 6, then we know. It's total of 24. It's richi. All those expressions are coming to clarify the situation. Because ikas v'rachmana sheish v'sheish. If the Torah only says 6 and 6, I would say, okay, one hand had 6 and 1 foot, but it wasn't matching all around. I would say, shisti day, shisti kare, 6 on a hand, 6 on a foot. Comes the pasuk, kasav esrim ba'arba, for a total of 24, to tell you, no, 6 all around, for 24 total. Because of esrim ba'arba. On the other hand, if the pasuk would suffice by saying the total 24, I wouldn't know that it's evenly distributed. Havamina, I would say chamesh mihagisa v'sheva mihagisa, 5 on this and 7 on the other side for a total of 24. Kasav sheish v'sheish. Hence, sheish v'sheish tells you that it was even all around. And the word mispar, b'nisperes al-gavayat, to tell you that the extras were aligned with the fingers alongside. Tanya. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Mas abadam echad. Here comes an incident with this individual. Shabbat me retarfan. He approaches Rabbi Tarfan with 26. Sorry, with 24. Yosser b'yada ragli, extra fingers, extra toes. Sheish v'sheish, 6 on each side, a total of esrim ba'arba. Amar Loi, so he says to him, Kamoischa yirbu b'Yisrael. There should be many like you amongst the Jewish nation. So this perhaps provides backup to Rabbi Yehuda's opinion that in fact it was something praiseworthy. It shows, extra power, extra. Amar Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi responds to Rabbi Yehuda, no, Misham Raya, how could you prove anything from there? You bring a Raya. Kach Amar, actually it's the opposite. He told him, Kamoischa yismatu mamzirei unesinim Yisrael. Perhaps in hinting fashion, perhaps, it sounded like he was praising him, but really his message was, if only the mamzerim and the nesinim, members of our nation, who are unfit to intermarry with the community, all these disqualified individuals, perhaps, if they would only exhibit these unusual signs, unusual extra fingers, this will be a sign to keep away from them, and nobody will mistakenly marry with them. So if anything, it's an inferiority, something which is not typical and considered a deficiency and a defect. Okay, so we have this fellow who has equal strength on both sides, both hands, Tan Rabbanon, iter, a lefty, ben biyad, whether it's on the hands, so his left is dominant, ben beregel, interestingly, your right foot is meant to be stronger than your left foot. In fact, when you see it, when you get to a door, and door opens, right? So which one leads the way? Typically it's the right. So righty, in his foot, steps right side in first, but a fellow who's a lefty uses his left foot first. So whether it's lefty in his hands, bein beregel, he's considered puzzle for doing the avodah in the Beis Hamikdash. And Rashi explains the reason for this is because by the hand it says in a pasuk that the kohen has to use his right hand, which is the dominant one, and by the regel Rashi says lama the shoris kashar amidos dikarim bimin, he meant to stand, the way typically people stand, which is with the right foot dominating. So he has to have a proper right hand, a proper right foot. But let's say hashol b'shtei yada, he has equal power on both. Rebbe Paisel, no good. Chachamim, okay, machshir. Why? Marsa, our Rebbe holds, it's a deficiency. It's a sign of weakness in his right hand. Kichush usa, weakness, aschla has developed even in his right hand. That's why his right isn't stronger than the left. Umarsa, v'chacham go the other way. It's the opposite. Bar yusa, strength, power, aschla b'smal is developed on his left. So his left is catching up to the right. So which way do you look at it? Deficiency in the right or added strength to the left? Continues the Mishnah. Kushi, a very dark-skinned kohen, v'gichar, very light-skinned, v'lavkan, reddish-skinned, v'kipeach, very long and thin, disproportionate, v'ananas, super short, v'acherish, deaf-mute, v'ashoita, deranged, v'ashikar, drunk, ubal in goyim tahirim, exhibits these white spots, which are, although not tameh, but nevertheless unsightly. Psulim b'adam. All these conditions disqualify a kohen, but they're not considered a mum with respect to behema, uksherim, if they're found by behema. Reb Shimon Omer, but you should know a shaita, a deranged animal, apparently there's such a thing, shaita min behema, einam min muchar, it's not your best pick, and should be avoided. Reb Elazar Omer, af bala dedulan. Likewise, those with hanging flaps of skin, psulim ba'adam, by a person, it renders him unfit, but by behema it's acceptable. Behema. What is a kushi? Uchma, very dark skin, black. Gichar, chivara, white. Lavka means sumka, red. Eini, is that so? That lavka means red? Vaho, we had a story out with Omar Lahu, this merchant was calling out to sell his sheep, man boy lav, kiyane, who'd like to buy the lav kiyane, this type of, and it turned out to be what color? Vishtaka chivar was white, not red. Sorry, it was white. You're telling me it's red. Ella, rather, we have to switch around the translation. Kushi means ukma, black. Gicha means sumka, red. And, Kadam Inshi has people relate to a sumka, to a reddish person, as a gichya, right? And the lavkan means very light skin, chivara. As per that story with the sheep, right? As a fellow who was calling out, man boy lafkianu, who would like to buy lafkianu, v'shal chivara, turned out to be kipeach. What does that mean? Tani Rav Zvid, Gavoya, super tall and imbalanced in terms of his, body, proportion. Eini, is that so? But Tani Rabbi, so first the Gemara figures it's just super tall. And that we have a kasha. What's wrong with being tall? Eini. Vatani Rabbi Avo. Tallness is a subject of praise. In fact, Hashem relates to tall as something positive. Rabbi Avo. Where do we find that Hashem relates to tall people in a very positive, praiseworthy manner? Shenemar. We find in the pasuk that Hashem is telling us, look what I took. I took care of the Amorim, the tall Amorim, tall, impressive Amorim, Apparently it's something of a positive nature. I destroyed their meiris, tall like the cedars. Apparently tallness denotes strength. It's an advantage, not the opposite. Amra papa baricha shmita sanya. Sanya means it's considered inferior if it's aricha, if it's tall, and shmita, sort of lanky and not really supporting itself, very, very super tall and just, falling over. Amar Rish Lakish. Speaking about tallness, gavaya, a fellow who is tall, laisa gavayas, should take care not to marry a woman who likewise is tall. Why? Shema yetzimen Torah. They might bear a child who's as tall as a mast. Right? Tall plus tall equals super tall. And likewise, nanas, exceptionally short person, should be careful. Laisa nanesa shouldn't marry a woman with a similar configuration because they might bear a child who's super short. Shema yetzimen mehem etzboi. A child is like a finger, really dwarfed. Love and Lisa Lavana, white shouldn't marry white. Shema yetzimen bayek might turn up with a super white child. And likewise, dark skinned. Shachar, an extra dark person. Lisa shchera shouldn't marry a woman the same. Shema yetzimen tafiach, which might produce a really dark skinned child. So we have shikar listed amongst our unfit kaihanim. And the question is, our Mishnah relates to conditions which are not technically, full scale blemishes. They're just based on level 2 that we discussed the other day, which is Einoi Shave Bezara Shel Arain. He's unmatching to the rest of the kaihanim. He's abnormally looking. But a shikar is much more than that. A fellow is drunk. He does the avodah. It becomes pasul. Shikar machil is machal. Disqualifies the avodah. Why is it listed in the Mishnah, which speaks about lower level issues? Ba'adi mumi. It should be listed amongst the full scale blemishes. The mechili avodah, that if they perceive the avodah disqualifies the avodah, the Mishnah should be counted there. The answer is, he's not truly drunk. Bishar dvarim mishakram. It's not wine drunk. He's just, intoxicated by way of other materials, other alcohol materials, or fermented, all types of other variations of drunkenness which affect his presence of mind. So he's not really a shikar discussed in the Torah. That's only, by wine. But otherwise, he's not machal li avodah. Nevertheless, he should refrain from doing service. He's not fit at that point. And this assertion that a shikar by way of other causes is not machal avodah, that's unlike Rabbi Yehuda, who says that he is a sanya. Rabbi Yehuda holds any sort of lightheaded, shikar, from any sort of cause, is machal avodah, not just limited to wine. The sanya achal dvela ki'ilis, a fellow who ate dried fig from a town called Ki'ila, which was very sugary and intoxicating like wine. V'shasa chalav, he drank milk or dvash or some sort of honey, mead, which it's like fermented. V'nichas lamigdash, enters the migdash in that dizzied state. Chayev, he's chayev malchus. Okay, so that's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion, but the Chachamim disagree, and likewise our Mishnah disagrees that the true shikar of the Torah is exclusive to wine, but otherwise, although you should not be doing the avodah, but it's not machala. Continues the Mishnah. So up until now we had the impression that the standards that apply to a kohen are way broader than the standards that apply to a behema. We have the class called Ein Shava Bezara Shel Arain. We have the third level called Marisa Ayin. He's unfit due to unsightly appearance. So generally the Adam has greater range than the behema. But listen to this, we have examples of psulim that apply only to behema, not to Adam. Elu ksherim ba'adam, psulim b'behema. We have situations which interfere by the behema, but not by the kohen. Oiseves b'nai, father and son. Animals cannot be shechted on the same day, but a father and son kohen can serve on the same day. No issue there. Treifa, an animal which is a treifa, is pasul, but a kohen, lo yaleinu, a treifa, keep on going until 120. An animal born by cesarean is unfit, but a kohen is. Interacted with a person improperly, by him it's possible, but by the kohen it doesn't disqualify him. Behemoth Adam killed, behemoth possible, by Adam is not. If a kohen is involved with a woman improperly, he's married to a divorcee, which he shouldn't, possible, that renders him unfit until he separates. He makes this neder that she's out of bounds, in which case he can go back to the avodah. Likewise, the fellows on the Chevra Kadisha, he's possible from avodah until he commits to abstain to get himself a new job. Says the Gemara, first example of possible by the behemoth, kosher by the adam is oy soy vespunim. My voice vespunim. What does that mean? We're speaking about father and son. So by animals, you can't shech them on the same day. But kohanim is okay to serve father and son together to cover seh. So correspondingly, by the animal, to cover say it's taisha b'nai, the father, goat, and the offspring. B'noig. Why are they subject to oy soy vespunim? It only pertains to mother and offspring, not the father and offspring. Vatanya oy soy vespunim noig b'nei it only pertains to a female. It doesn't pertain to the father. Ella to Yashabuna. Rather, we're speaking about the mother goat and her son, which cannot be processed on the same day. Correspondingly, a mother kohen and a son, what are they doing in the Beis Hamikdash? The mother doesn't work in the Beis Hamikdash. So here as well, the woman and her son are serving in the Mikdash. Since when does a woman serve in the Mikdash? Yeah, we're speaking about the father and son kohen. Correspondingly, by the animals, the father animal and his son. And they are subject to Oisves B'nai in accordance with Chananya, who says the Oisves B'nai applies to the father as well. Amri Ma Rabban Yisrael explain Mishmei Rabbi Yisrael Rabban. Ada Amr, we learn from here. Chananya, it reflects the opinion of Chananya, the Sanya. Oisves B'nai applies Noig B'nei only by the mother animal. Ve'en Noig B'schar, not by the father animal. Chananya Yomer, it applies on both Noig B'schar B'nei. Next, V'nois Nashim Ba'avera. He's married to a divorcee. Tana, the Bryce explains the steps in restoring his status. Noider va'ived, yored megarish. First, he makes the neder, making her off limits, and go back to the avodah. Even before he divorces, he comes off, and when he gets a chance to do it, he gets an appointment by the bezdin, and he divorces. And actually, the Re'im says it's got to be his first matter of business, without tarrying. Okay, but in any case, the neder itself does the temporarily does the job. The question is, we should be concerned that he may nullify the neder. He might go to the Rav, and he'll nullify the neder. Because Savar Tzarech Lafar to the neder, Tana holds it, he has to go and specify. Itemize the neder. It's this and this that I vowed, in which case the Chacham will know better than nullifying it. That's if you hold that he has to specify. If you hold that you don't have to specify the neder, just go to the Chacham and say, listen, I made a neder, I'd like to. Michael Memar, how are you going to explain that? What good is making a neder if you can just nullify? The answer is the Madrina Le Barab. We have him express that neder in public, which doesn't allow for nullification. Really? Hanicha, that's good. Lamad Amar, according to the opinion that neder should have been lafar. That type of neder cannot be nullified. Lamad Amar, according to the opinion that it could be lafar, you could nullify even a publicly declared neder. Michael remember, then we're back to square one. Madrina lay al das Rav. To the next Amit. There's one thing called birab, in the presence of the public. And then there's something called adas Rav, according to the understanding of the public. That you can't tinker with, because it's not in your hands. It's not based on your understanding. They are sort of, it's under their auspices. It's in their hands. The Amar Meimar, as Meimar teaches, Hilchasa, the halacha is, Afilu man the Amar, neder, shuda, birab, for even if you hold that a neder done in public can be undone, but al da'as harabim, no. Ein la'afor, that cannot be undone. Okay, so that's how we ensure that it stays. Continues the Gemara with one more twist. V'hani mili, when do we say that the neder adas ram cannot be undone? If they're trying to undo it just for a non-mitzvah reason. Aval dvar mitzvah, if there's a mitzvah involved. If it's for the sake of a good deed, even this type of neder can be undone yesh le'afara. As per the following story, there was this teacher, this Malamed, who would teach the children Torah, and he was a bit rough on the edges. Adrei Rav Acha, so Rav Acha imposed a neder on him. They should never be involved in teaching kids. You have no business. You're a violent fellow, find yourself another profession. Took a pasha binuki, would be violent with the kids. But ultimately, they couldn't find a proper replacement who was such an expert teacher. And therefore, Ravina restored him to his position. He couldn't find another fellow who was dayak avasei, would teach perfectly like him. So you see, even to this extent, if it's for the sake of a mitzvah, Rashi says, Pasha binuki, malka oisam, he would strike them, umesim, they would die. Okay, pretty rough fellow, but you see, he knew, he taught well, so the Ritva is a different pshat. He says, Ritva back in Makkos, he says, not that he was killing people, he was Pasha. Actually, he was negligent in terms of his timekeeping. He wasn't conscientious about keeping the times, keeping the schedule. So he wasn't a very good example, a very good role model for the kids. But ultimately, his expertise in conveying the material was so outstanding that it overrode this weak point that he had, and he was restored to his position. Okay, last point is a kohen who's involved in Meisim. So as soon as he commits, he bows out, it's okay, without making a neder. Versus the other fellow who married Grush has to make a neder in order for us to allow him back. Why? Why over there do we need a neder? And over here, just committing is okay. Over here, when it comes to refraining from being metame, it's enough for him to be makabel, to commit, to bow out. As opposed to the married fellow who must make a neder to gain, credibility. There, he's drawn by his desires, and therefore, the only way he can restore his credibility if he makes a neder, which guarantees that in fact he'll comply, in which case he can be back on the Mizbeach. Okay, so we started with foot / leg related deficiencies, which are considered psulim in HaTorah. It's all based on the extra word oi shever regel. We have hand finger issues as well based on oi shever yad, the word oi. We discuss the status of the extra finger. If it has a bone, it's considered an aver regarding the kohen having removed. It's mechusar aver regarding metame ba'oil. We discussed the total number of avarim, 248, by woman 252. Confirmed by Talmidei Rabbi Shmuel. Interesting. So the Rebelsky is Atzal. Yeah, he said that he worked hard to study the anatomy and try to figure out how do you get the Ramach Ivarim. He said he got pretty much almost to the full count, which is pretty a lot of hard work, pretty impressive. He was able to reach almost the full number by analyzing the various Ivarim in a person as per the account presented by Chazal. Okay, we had the extra, the 26-fingered fellow, Machlekes there. We had the ambidextrin. We had the Mishnah discussing other types of abnormalities in terms of skin color, in terms of configuration. We discussed some cases where it would be possible by behema and kosher by the adam, and we discussed how to deal with a fellow who is Neisen Hashem Ba'avera or Metam L'Meis. All the best to you and Hatzlacha Rabbah.